Okay, today we are going to create a video here showing you how to blow out your own sprinkler system. At first can be a pretty intimidating task if you've never done it before, but hopefully after this video you will feel the confidence to try this on your own. And we will be using today just the regular run-of-the-mill air compressor. This is a 5 horsepower 20-gallon compressor, and this will be more than adequate for what we need here today. So what we're going to do is come back over to here to our setup here, and I've taken the liberty of loosening some stuff here. The crescent wrench we're going to use to take off our main cover there, and the screwdriver is going to be for when we're all done loosening these release valves here. Thing to remember is you don't want to release or undo these release valves here. This will be the last thing. We want to keep as much pressure in the system from this point forward here as possible before we get started, or we'll release that RPZ valve and we'll have some issues getting it reset. You'll have to charge the system back up again. So what we're going to do is take this off, and then one thing that you're going to need to go out and buy in order to do this is this system, this little setup here that I created. What I did was I just took my regular cover here, brought it into Home Depot, and I matched up the threads and the size onto this little gadget. Had a little hole in the center there, and I just put a little pneumatic fitting on it. And what we're going to do is just screw this in. You want to get a nice tight seal on here. It doesn't have to be too much, but just get her tight. That's all you really need. So what we're going to do now is we're going to charge up the air compressor, and we're going to let that run to about 80 pounds of pressure before. So once you get your system charged up, or your compressor charged to 80 pounds, what you're going to do then is come in here and you're just going to plug the system in. Now I've already blown my system out here. Kind of had some video problems, so I'm coming back and doing this again, but this beginning intro part here. So my RPZ valve is already let loose. But you get the idea here. One thing that we're not going to use in this process is the main brain box in the garage. That'll have nothing to do with our blowing out of the system. We're going to run it, open our valves manually. So as you can see, here's my box in the yard here. I jumped on this here. Okay, so we're going to find our box here. I'm just going to open this up, and you can see your valves in here. Now, I've got 6 zones in this yard. Got 3 on this side of the house. Got another box on the other side. Then another 3 zones. And what we're going to be doing here, in order to manually open your zone, is the tops of these here, they just twist, like so. Once you get pressure in the line, that's how we'll open that up, and then hopefully you'll be able to see that here as we continue on with the video. Okay, so here's the control box. So I've already predetermined which of these valves are my first zone and second zone, and the series of zones that how I want to do it. So I've already done this one time, and so we'll finish this first zone off. What you're going to do is just come into your zone here, grab it. These just twist. When you twist it, it opens the valve. You'll see, come up here. There they go. So I already drained some of that out of here. What we're going to do is just let these blow out here until we run out of pressure in the tank. And we'll go beef it back up again, get some more pressure. I'm just going to let this run for a while. And you'll see that after it blows out most of the water, you don't hear much of that hissing anymore. You'll just hear air. Okay. Those are still draining out. I'll show you here what we got going on. I left the pump, or the pressure, I didn't have the power on it. Now from this point, once we know that we've got the zone's right, and I know the area I'm going to go, I'm just going to let that pressure tank run. And every once in a while I have to shut the zones off because we won't have enough pressure. We'll drain it too quickly. You'll know when that happens, because you'll see not enough pressure there to push that head up. So what you do is just go back, turn the zone off, let the pressure build in the tank for a little bit, reopen that. And you want to do that a couple, 2-3 times. Make sure that you get all the water out of there, and then we'll run on to the next zone. So we've got our air compressors back up to 80 pounds here again. I'm going to hit my second zone here in series. Hit that again here. Turn it on. So I need to go about a half crank. You can see they just came on here. And they're going to run for a little bit, pushing that water out of line. And then, there we go. There they start. One of the big concerns I had when I started, the first time I did this was, can you put too much pressure into the system and pop joints or whatever? And I suppose, yeah, you could. I've just never had any issues putting it at about 80 pounds. Especially I'm on a walkout lot and I'm pushing some water uphill. You can see the box is here. I got to go up here. That means I got to push some water up the hill, so I want to make sure I have enough pressure in there. So what I'll do now is I'm going to shut it off. And, oops, hang on. I'm going to shut that back off. And we'll let that thing build some pressure again. One of the things I do, because it's just a 20-gallon tank that I've got, I get, it runs and runs and runs. It starts to get hot. So every once in a while, I'll let it set, turn it off, let it rest for about 5-10 minutes. I'll come back and do the other zones. Okay, now we're on to the other box in the yard. See over here? I remember, I like to drain mine from the top down. The only person that warranties my system is me. So I like to make sure and start up the top. So I come over to the box, identify the zone that's at the top of the hill here. And this bad boy is going to turn up quick. I'm going to get the hell out of the way. So we'll let that drain. You hear them just blowing. We'll give those a minute here and I can finish it up. We hit the next zone here and I'll show you. As you can see, this one's blowing nothing, just air for the most part. That's what we want. We're still blowing a little bit of water down over here. You might be able to hear these things just spitting. But until this thing is blowing air, well, we're losing pressure. Okay, so we just made it through all 6 zones the first time. As a precautionary measure, like I said, I like to do them again. After you blow these out, you'll find that water will actually come back and will kind of pool up again. So even if you had a zone that was blowing nothing but air, just come back and do it again. Make sure that any last bit of water that's in there is blown out again. So when in doubt, just keep blowing the air out. It takes 20 seconds here to do it again, and it gives me a little bit of peace of mind. All right, I'm just going to show you because we've been through this whole system once here. Last time we left, all I was blowing up on top of the hill there was just air. So we'll turn that on. Yeah, look at that. So you still got some residual water that's blowing and that found its way to a low spot there, and that didn't get blown out before, so it's a good thing we came back through here and did this again. So what we'll do is just blow it, keep letting it charge, blow it a few more times, and should be pretty good. Okay, now we've got every zone blown out. Last thing that you're going to want to do here is I've got these 2 little petcock things here, whatever. I'm going to open them up. Yeah. Get done with the air. The rest of the air will blow out of the system there, and you're good to go. All right, to close this system up here now, just for wrap this up, we're going to take this back off. I'm going to put my cover. It normally goes in here during the summer months. Put that in a safe place. Here's what this guy looks like here. See inside. So that's how you blow out your own sprinkler system. If at any point you have any questions at all or doubts, it's $50. Call a professional. Or if you're like me and you're too damn cheap, it's pretty simple to do. And I know that come spring we'll be able to just plug this cover back on, turn it on, and we'll be good to go. Thanks.